Hi guys, welcome back. I am Stu and this is Fiasco Forest for Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic. Full of badly designed and dangerous rides, you have a very limited budget and time to fix the problems and turn the park around. Your objective, to have at least 900 guests in your park at the end of October, year one, with a park rating of at least 600. So that's quite a lot of guests then to get in 1 year, but we've already got 200 guests in the park, so we only need another 700 to go, and we do already have some good rides in the park by the looks of it. Death slide, oh okay. Let's have a look. Boat jam, death slide, dynamite run. Right, first thing we're going to do then, we're going to close all of the rides down because I don't like the thing where it says that they're dangerous. Free entry, so that's good. So we're going to be charging for the rides. Let's have a look. Good excitement on that one. Very high intensity on the mini coaster. If we can get that under control, we should be on to a winner. And just looking at this slide, let's put on the heights of the tracks. There you go. Yeah, so it starts off 85 feet, drops down back up to 50, so it's going to be going way too fast. That's going to come off the track and crash. So I think what we'll do with this one, we'll just rebuild it with enclosed tubes. So at the moment it's got like a half pipe. Then what we'll do is, there you go, you've got the enclosed tube, so we'll just put the end of that in enclosed tubes. The guests will hit the heads on the roof, but that's fine as long as it doesn't crash. They'll be fine. So there's a, what's this, boat jam this one is. Let's turn off scenery. Oh, there you go. So there's no way of them getting back to the so they're starting here. There's no way of them getting back to the end. Another issue with this is that really the entrance should be down this end here. What will happen with this is they'll get on and they'll have to walk all the way down to the end and then get in the boat. So it's just going to help. It's just going to be a lot slower. There's a lot of pathing that's unnecessary as well. So I think what we'll do is we'll close some of these off, at least for now. The slide pathing here, there's no way for, if a guest comes off, there's no easy way of them going back on. So we'll do something with the pathing there. That's that is just rubbish. So I think I'll just delete that rather than wasting time sorting it out. I think I'll delete it because there's a lot of space here that we could put some flat rides down. Speaking of which, let's have a look what we've got. We've got a train. We've got not a bad selection of gentle rides. We can put these 4 down very quickly. Not a bad selection of coasters to begin with. Let's have a look then. Thrill rides. Got a few good thrill rides to begin with. Splash boats, they're a good money maker, and they got very good throughput as well. Get a lot of guests off the paths with them. So that could be handy because I've got a couple of cheap designs for those I can use. Water rides, we won't be bothering with any of these. And a good selection of shops. So what have we got down so far? Nope. We haven't got a kiosk, so I'll put a kiosk down. We've got toilets. They're way too expensive. We'll drop the price down to free. Pizza, we'll put the price of that up. Chips, I think what I'll do is I'll close off this path. I'll put a no entry sign down there, and then once that path clears, I'll get rid of all these, just so because I think I can use the space better. So what I think I'll do for this video then, since it's only going to be a year that we're playing the game for, I think what I'll do is I'll video the whole thing, and then that way then we can drop in at some of the key moments and maybe fast forward through some of the less exciting bits. But I think what I'll do now is I'll save the game, and then when I come back then we'll start fixing the rides one by one. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do then, let's go in, let's put my research into roller coasters, because we've got pretty much everything else. So let's see what that gives me. First ride then, I think the easiest one to do is going to be the slide. So let's just take it back. Let's have a look. Let's delete. Okay, so depth slide is done. I'm gonna leave that on test now just to see how that does. How that works out. There's a lot of people stuck there. Hide scenery, hide ride. So I don't know what they're doing over there. Okay, so there's no exit path from the wooden coaster. So let's have a look. Easiest thing to do is just to pick them up, drop them down on the path, put it on pause in between just to save a little bit of time. Okay, so I've moved all the guests that were stuck back onto the paths. One thing I haven't done, I haven't put down a kiosk. So what we'll do, we'll just put the maps free, and then we'll put umbrellas up to £5. That's the usual price I like to put them at. So let's have a look at this wooden coaster. Let's see if the test results have come back on this. Yeah, there you go. Test results have come back. A solid 5 excitement, so we'll put it up to £5. Okay, have we got any workers? No. Okay, so let's just drop some handymen down. I'm not going to worry about zoning them. We're only playing for a year. So let's just drop them down. Right, let's have a look at this wooden coaster then. Let's remove scenery. Let's put the track heights on. Okay, so the chain lift takes it up to 50 and then drops it down. And then it's back up to 45. Right, so after quite a lot of tracks, so I don't think it's going to make it all the way back. So I think easiest thing to do is to increase the height of the chain lift, and then hopefully that'll take care of the ride without making it too intense. So let's try that. Is that going to be enough? We'll set it to one train just in case it crashes. Oh look, there you go. They've put it on pause. They've put this all the way up as well. So there's another little hidden thing that you might not spot. So we'll just reduce this all the way down. We'll put the wait for up to full. Full load. We'll put that down to 10. Let's have a look. So this should be Okay now, but we'll run it on one train just to see what happens. I'm getting rid of the cars. I did say I was going to do that. Get rid of that because I've cordoned off and that because I've put a no entry sign there, so we don't need anything down here. I'm going to get rid of these paths once they clear. The coaster. Okay, so whilst that's going on, we can have a look at the mini coaster. This was very high excitement. There's a red arrow next to the guest number, so the guests are leaving the park. It's probably because I had all the rides closed. Once I start opening them up again, it should be fine. So I think what we'll do, and with these mini coasters you've got brakes, so let's just put some brakes on it. And then put that into test, see what happens. Oh, I haven't opened up the slide. Silly mistake. Oh, these boats are still stuck as well. There's so much wrong. It's easy to miss a few things. So we'll drop this down here. We'll drop that down there. We'll bring the water. Oops. Bring the water up. I'll probably need to do that as well. And we'll just connect these up. So they can't get stuck. We'll put that to £1. Give the guests something to go on. That's broken down now, is it? Oh, there you go. So this has been testing whilst we've been fixing the ride. The intensity's a lot lower. That'll be fine. Anything under 10 and the guests will go on. They might not go on it as much as if the intensity was a lot lower, but because there will be some guests in the park who won't go on a ride that intense, but there will be some who do. Wait for full load. Let's have a look how the wooden coaster's doing. Oh, fantastic. So the excitement's all we did then. We just raised the chain lift. So let's close it down, put 2 cars on, and open it back up, charge £5, and we should be on to a winner. Okay, so the red arrow has gone from the guest numbers, so that should be steadying out. There you go. So that's fine. We could spend a bit more time. There's a lot of unbanked bends on this coaster, so we could adjust them and make the excitement higher, but and there's no photo section as well either, but I think it'd be fine as it is. We've only got a year to go, so I'm not going to waste too much time. Awesome. So I think on the rides now, all the rides now are sorted. They're all fine. The only one we've got the issue with is this boats. We could move the entrance down, but I think I'll just leave it as it is for now. Could probably do with adjusting the footpath, adjusting the entrance queue for the mini coaster, but I'll leave it as it is for now. And I think what we'll do is at some point we're going to change the pathing. So we'll just wait and see how we've got the paths, and then we can look at changing that around. So we'll delete this path here. I think what I'll do is I'll drop down some shops. It's a nice spot here. Oh, that's so annoying the way it does that. The way you click it to transparent and you do something and then it comes back. There you go. So we got some food. Someone's had a bargain. Put this up to 2 because I want to make some profit off them. 2 is a good figure for the. Okay, so we've got some shops. I think what I'll do now is, what's happening with the, have we researched anything? Have we got anything new? Bobsleigh coaster. Looping coaster, have we? Oh, fantastic. Well, if we've unlocked one of those, we don't need any more coasters because there's so much we can do with them. That's great, that is. We can run it as a shuttle. So I think what I'll do then, I'll switch research off because we haven't got that much money. How much? Oh, there you go. We've only got a maximum. We haven't got a lot of money, so what I'm going to need to do now is put down something profitable and then use that money to start expanding the rest of the stuff. Boat 5 hasn't returned to the station yet. Why not? It's there. It's fine. They must have just been slow rowers. Okay, so what I'll do now, I'll save it, and then when we come back, we'll drop down a few more rides. Right, so I just cleared the path away here because I've got a nice big spot that I want to put down a splashboard. So I've got 2 10x10 designs. This one's 3.7, that one's 7.7. So I'm going to go for the cheaper one. The excitement should come back at a good 4 point something. So that should bring a lot of guests into the park and make me a bit of money from the guests that are already here. So I'm going to put that somewhere in the corner. Where's the exit? I'll get the exit there. Alright, so it's going to be 2,900. So that's pretty cheap for a splash boat. So I'm going to do the paths now, and then what I'll do is I'll just use the rest of the money that I've got. I've only got 2,000 left. I'll use the rest of the money then putting down a few flat rides, and then the money should start rolling in now I've got a few good coasters and a splash boat built. Okay, what I'll do now, I think I'll alter the entrance and exit for, well, just the entrance for the boat ride. This should speed up the amount of guests who can go on the ride. Because as it was, the entrance was just down here behind this tree. Let's clear that. So guests were having to come down here, the last tile, and then walk all the way down the platform, get in the boat, then go around and come back. So this should speed it up quite a bit. The splash boats, I've only got that set to £5. I could charge a bit more now that it's new, but I figure we need the guests in the park, so I don't want to take their money too soon. We're up to 361 guests so far. So what's that? Just under 500, just over 500 to go. I'll start putting down some flat rides. Whilst the green arrow is next to the guest number, it should be rising, although it looks like it's falling at the moment, but it should be rising overall. So when that disappears, we know we need to get some more rides down fairly sharpish. Let's see what we got. There you go, something nice and cheap. We can share the exit path. Guess can't get to the... Oh, give me a chance, I've only just put it down. There you go, there's that one done. Another ride done. So we're making just over 1,000 a month. So we should be okay now. Let's just check. Oh, that's broken down. There's a mechanic fixing it. That's £5. Just checking all the prices of the rides. That's £5. This one's £5. So the splashboard should earn us quite a lot of money. Oh, hello. What's this? Boat 5 on Deaf Side hasn't returned to the station yet. Oh, there's a bit of a jam there. So there's another issue with this ride then that we haven't seen. So let's just extend. Just make sure it makes it up there, and then we should be fine. Yeah, there you go, that's fine. We'll reopen that back up, and I think what I'll do as well is extend the queue. The more people in the queue, the less people there are on the paths, so that should reduce overcrowding, and we'll keep them in the park a bit longer because it'll mean that they've kept their money. Okay, so we haven't got much money left, so let's find something quite cheap. Pirate ship, that's always good for making lots of money. Right, so I've just dropped down a pirate ship and a twist just over the boats there, and then I've hired another couple of mechanics and some handymen as well. I haven't zoned any of them. We're only going to be playing this scenario for a year, so I figure it's not really worth the hassle of doing that. Splashboats really isn't as popular as I'd have liked. It's probably because we haven't got that many guests in the park. The guest numbers are steadily increasing. We're about halfway to the 900 that we need, and we've got a good few months to get it. We've got the green arrow next to the guest number, so that's good. So as long as we keep that there, we should be fine. So we can just take a little break now, and then put down another ride in due course, so we can have a quick look whilst we're taking a quick break. We can see what rides we've got and plan maybe where we're going to put them. We're into August, so only a couple of months left to go. We've got 650 guests, so it's going to be fairly close. I'm just wondering whether I should start increasing the money for my rides, because I need to build some more rides in order to get more guests coming in, but I don't want to take their money too quickly. So a bit of a dilemma really. I think what I'll do is I'll build a looping coaster just over here. I've got one of those unlocked, so I'll just build it, a fairly basic one, and then I can always expand it as and when I get more money. Right, so my looping coaster is now done. Just under 5 excitement, that's 5, only charging £5 for it. The green arrows come back to the guest number, so we need around 130 guests over the next month or so. We've got about 6 or 7 weeks to do it. Maybe we should build another looping coaster as well. That'll surely bring some extra guests into the park. Okay, so it's October. We've got just under a month now to go. We need 100 guests in the park. So what I'm going to do now is reduce all the rides down to free, just to make sure that the guests who are running out of money don't have any reason to leave. Start with the exciting rides first, and then we can go on to the boring rides. So I've only just built this one, but I'm struggling for guest numbers at the moment. That's pretty much all I can do at the moment. We haven't got enough time really to build anything else, so let's just run it on fast forward and see what happens. We've got 15 days to get 50 guests, 40 guests, 30 guests, 20. There you go. We should be fine. We got just over a week to get 10 guests ish. Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. Oh, and we've done it. We've got 903 guests in the park. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to save the game, and then just in case the video corrupts or something, and then what I'll do is I will come back, complete the game, and then have a bit of a park tour. It is 30th of October, year 1, just a couple of days then to go. We needed 900 guests in the park. We've currently got 903 guests in the park, so we've just scraped over it. Now one thing I could do is I could place a no entry sign just near the exit, and what that would do is that would stop the guests being able to leave the park, so we would be guaranteed to complete the scenario. What that would also do is it would gradually affect the rating of the park, so if I left it for too long the rating would tumble, but I figure we'll be fine. We should be fine. Let's just unpause it, and as long as we don't get a stampede of people leaving, we should be okay. So 30th is a few more people coming in, so we're up to just over 4,000 a month now. So finally the money's coming in, although I have just made all the rides free, so but what I could do is always put the money back up, and we've completed it. Stoo! I could always put the money back up and continue playing, but I'm not going to do that. And we've unlocked Mineral Park. Okay, so that was Fiasco Forest. Quite a difficult one. I think the mistake I made was not putting... What have we done? The mistake I made was not putting the looping coasters down quickly enough, because we unlocked them fairly early. So I think if I had put one down quite soon, we would have had a bit of a boost of the guests, and we would have completed it with a bit more to spare. in the end, doesn't matter, because whether you pass it with 1 guest spare or 100 spare, you still pass it. So what happened then, we came in and there was a number of, it told us that the rides were badly designed and dangerous. So first thing I did then is I put all the rides on stop, open up the rides window, go open, close, and then close all. So that made sure that none of the rides were going to crash. As far as I know, the only one that was going to crash was this one here called Death Slide. Now I've switched all these tubes here to closed, so that way the guests won't fly off the end. But when we first came in, it was open, so that would have crashed. Another thing we noticed as well, a bit of a sneaky one, is just by here, you can just about see it, let's turn the scenery off, the chain lift didn't come down to the bottom. So it was fine for the first few months, but eventually a couple of boats got stuck and there was a bit of a jam there. So that must have affected our rating slightly. And the wooden coaster, the chain lift wasn't very high. I've extended the chain lift on this one. I don't think it was high enough to make it over this large bump at the end, so that could have been quite dangerous. I think the mini coaster, it was so intense that no one was going to ride that anyway. It was making it around okay, there was no crashes. So all I did with that is I just added a brake there and then delete the end of the track, and that brought the intensity down and made it rideable. And then from there then it was just a case of tidying up the paths. Also on the boats there was a bit of land blocking it, so they couldn't get around. So it's just a case of tidying up the paths and then placing down some rides. I put down the splash board, still not that popular. I suppose the more guests are coming to the park, the more popular it will get. And then just putting down some flat rides, and then eventually I put down the looping coaster just down here, and then I built one just at the end as we were coming into the final month. And then when we got into October, then we were still about 100 or so guests away from the target. So I just went round and made all the rides free. So what that meant is any guests that were running out of cash, they were able to stay in the park because they were able to go on rides. So that helped, because it meant that the guests that were coming into the park, there was no one leaving, so we were good to go. And in the end we just scraped it. So it was a fairly difficult scenario then. I could see it could stump people if they're not quick enough. I mean, it nearly caught me out. Don't forget, you've also got advertising that you could use as well, so that'll give you a nice boost of guests. I don't particularly like advertising. I've only advertised on one scenario so far, and that was because it was a very long scenario. It was about 4 years, and I didn't want to waste a few hours playing it only to come up a little bit short. With this one, no, it's only about an hour's scenario, so if I was to fail it wouldn't bother me. I'd just play it again. So that was Fiasco Forest. I am Stu. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Any questions or feedback, drop them in the comment section, and I'll see you next time. Bye.